Welcome to the Higher Power Podcast, where your safe zone for discovering your true self is created. We are your hosts, Frank Sieben and Jill Humphries. Hi everyone, and welcome to the 24th episode of the Higher Power Podcast. Jill, 24 episodes already.
I know, 24 episodes. Do you know what, Frank? I was thinking about this today, and how blessed are we to have all of these amenities that we've got with us. You are sat in Germany. I'm sat on the west coast of Wales, but we're so connected and we're so vision orientated to make sure that what we're bringing is something that is very, very close to us. And this is no exception, this episode, because this is going to be transformative for all of us.
Yeah, because we always aim out to share our own experiences. And especially with this episode, we want to bring something that really crushed us this week. And we want to share how we found out what it is, because sometimes it's not easy. And we also want to share how we overcame it. And we both feel it's very valuable to share.
Yeah, definitely. Because you guys are really valuable to us. And we know that sometimes these things are going to affect you. 99.9% of the time, this affects every single person on this earth. And it may be something that you've not even realized is affecting your life. And this is where you and I were, Frank.
Yeah.
Years ago, before I entered into the self-development, personal development coaching forum, I really wasn't aware that I could do anything about this.
I wasn't even aware that this existed. I mean, 1 year ago, I found out about this, but Jill, before we continue, let's fill in our people here what we are talking about. So in this episode, we would love to talk about, do you believe everything you think and say to yourself? And guys, we're going to make this a 3-part series. So the first part is all about what is self-talk. The second part will be covering the different types of negative self-talk, because there's a lot to dive into. And the last part will be helping you how to overcome negative self-talk and how to mute your monkey sitting on your shoulder.
So we're going to dive deep into what it is, how it starts, where it comes from. But firstly, Frank, we need to welcome our beautiful listeners to the 24th episode.
We definitely.
And I think I'll hand it to you because you always do it so lovely. So I'm going to hand it to you.
Thank you, Jill. We always would love to reach out to each and every one of you who's just listening now. And we want to say thank you for all the love you're sending to us in the messages and also on our socials. It's really incredible. And we do these episodes with you in mind. And we do this because we want to help. And I always tell Jill, if we only can reach one single person, the whole podcast is worth doing. So we are beyond grateful for all your support, and trust us, guys, this really keeps us going, and it really does inspire us tremendously.
Yeah, massively. And if anything that we actually do or that you hear, you think would benefit someone else, we would love the fact that you share and spread the word and spread the love. Which is what we're all about here.
Yeah, we're all about spreading the love everywhere we go. I love that.
So I know this topic is going to get in depth, but really it's going to be food for thought, excuse the pun, but the best food for thought. So here we go, Frank. Let's commence with the power of what self-talk is. And first of all, what actually is it?
I think we can start by defining for ourselves, what is self-talk? Yeah, what is the power of self-talk? So how can we discover that we're actually self-talking to ourselves?
Yeah, and are we aware that we're actually doing it?
Exactly, yeah, because I tell you guys, we are doing this the whole day, constantly.
Yeah. And I'd like to give you a funny scenario that I found myself doing the other day. I went downstairs on purposely just to make a nice drink of tea, hot tea, and I found my head saying, look what you've got in the cupboard to go with this tea. Have a look. And I went into the cupboard and I had a look, and my true self was coming up and saying, let's not have anything too sugary because this is early part of the day and you're going to feel tired later. Mm-hmm. But my other self said, no, there's chocolate biscuits there.
Yeah.
You know you love these. And I was talking to myself the whole time.
Yeah.
And then I suddenly caught myself in mid-flow of reaching for the biscuits. And I thought to myself, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I don't have to listen to any of this or do any of it either.
Yeah.
And that is the power of when you're aware what you're saying.
Yeah, this leads beautifully to the quote by George Bernard Shaw. He says, the greatest lesson I ever learned was to accept complete responsibility for what I was feeling. This describes what you just shared with us, Jill. Totally.
Yeah. And I think I must have, frightened myself talk, because when I shut the cupboard door quite noisily, everything went quiet.
Yeah.
And I only left with the tea, which is what I went down there in the first place was.
Totally. So self-talk is all about your inner voice. Some people call it the monkey sitting on your shoulder, talking constantly into your ear, telling you things about yourself. And it's all about your internal dialogue. How do you communicate with yourself? And with the self-talk, it's called self-talk for a reason, because you are the only person that can hear that talk, which makes it very interesting to pay attention to. It's crucial how you communicate to yourself, because just imagine this scenario. You have somebody accompanying you all the time throughout your day and constantly giving you criticism, giving you negative talk about yourself. Wouldn't you like to get rid of that person criticizing you all day?
And it's there 24/7. This is the interesting part.
It never leaves.
No matter where you go, this goes with you.
Yeah, it's always there waiting for you.
Which is quite scary, because there is no hiding place.
No, there's no hiding
Anything
place.
that you do, you talk yourself into or you talk yourself out of. And it's an internal companion, and it talks to you non-stop, even when you're sleeping. Now that's scary.
That's scary, and it does remind me of my tinnitus I had, because my tinnitus was always there, where I was, waiting for me to say, hi, I'm still here, so listen to me.
Yeah.
I'm not stopping.
Yeah. And that's amazing, because you're, it's almost like you can guide yourself to something knowing that this is going to be really good for you, or knowing that this is something you're going to approach with an open and receptive heart. But when you get there, this self-talk is going to say, hold on, why are we here? You know we're not going to be welcome here. You know we don't know anything about what's going to happen here. And that is when it can actually talk you out of a situation that could be a very good move for you to make, even if it was approaching something or somebody even that you'd never met before. And this person is looking at you, giving you the smile and giving you the hello, I'd love to talk to you. And this little voice goes, don't be crazy. How would she possibly like you?
Yeah, exactly.
Ouch.
Ouch. So your self-talk is actually really giving you directions in your life. And your self-talk can influence the way you operate. If you let that self-talk into your life, it will make decisions for you. And it will talk you into situations you don't even want to be in. And then it determines actually everything you do and say to other people. So it really does influence your communication to other people as well, not only to yourself.
You guide yourself. In everything we do, we guide ourselves, or we think we are guiding ourselves. If the subconscious is coming up because we've got a pre-program in there, and that dialogue isn't healthy in the first place, then being our own guide can be really bad for us because we're operating from something that really doesn't belong to us. So we can inherit this self-talk as well because it's around us all the time.
And it affects our relationship, it affects our self-esteem, even our jobs, our moods, and our health. So you can always ask yourself, how do you see yourself? What is the image of yourself?
And if you're in a place of disempowerment, listen to what comes up when you ask yourself that. How good is it? Or how bad is it? And that's actually, Frank, a really good test.
Yeah, it is a very good test because you can directly define if it's true or not. Because if it's telling you, for example, you're not good enough, you know it's telling lies to you.
And if you think that it's actually telling you the truth, this is time to go deep.
Oh, yeah.
This is really time for self-evaluation.
Yes, and you might even discover patterns that are running through your life from your childhood even. So that's where you can actually start clearing these out.
First of all, though, you really got to pay attention to it. And like Frank said, when he didn't realize he was doing it, none of us actually realize what we're doing. Because we think what this little voice tells us we should be doing and thinking and being.
Yeah, I didn't realize that I was having any self-talk. And when I did realize that I was talking to myself in a very negative way, that I'm not good enough, then I will never succeed and I should give up, and all these negative things coming my way that are not what I actually wanted because I had a totally different aim in mind, you find out that everything is so contradicting between what you want and what your self-talk is giving you. So I thought if you can bring this into alignment, that your self-talk is contributing to your aim, it could be a powerful tool to use to reach the aim where you want to go.
And is this making you happy? That's another big thing. And notice what you say. And are you constantly saying it to yourself? Or do you constantly criticize others because this little voice is saying, well, you're better than them, or they're better than you, or are you complaining about your faults or how life treats you, or you have an internal rant about life in general, which goes on and on and on.
You don't want to be with you any longer. I mean, I would definitely not be around that person that is just criticizing and being negative and seeing the worst in everything. You definitely want to be surrounded by people that lift you higher. And if your self-talk is that negative, well, yeah, you're in for a treat.
Yeah, and also don't forget you attract what you're thinking about. So if you want to escape from this, you've got to look within. You've got to pay attention to this internal dialogue, and you can actually talk yourself into failure, but you can, worst case scenario, I've actually worked with people that talk themselves into a panic attack. They know how it's going to start. They can tell you every step along the way. And as they're telling you and believing it's happened, they go into a panic attack. It happens. It happens there and then.
Yeah, it's a clear self-fulfilling prophecy because the incident hasn't happened yet, but they talk themselves into this and it's coming. It's coming your way. And at that moment, it's no longer the question if it's going to happen. It's only the question when it's going to happen, because this self-fulfilling prophecy will come then.
Yeah, absolutely. And these thoughts surface when you are faced with doing something that is counter to what your mind thinks you can do or has a negative opinion about. So think back over a time that your own ideas or thoughts about what you could or could not accomplish actually got in the way of something you so wanted. Can you actually imagine somebody following you about all day, telling you you did really badly there? Oh, that was absolutely stupid. That's crazy to go and do things like that. Wouldn't you turn around and say to them, for goodness sake,
shut the Sorry.
Give me a break.
Yeah.
But it's true.
Yeah, it's
you
true.
would end this relationship. You would leave this person. You would just not go anywhere near them again. So why are you doing it to yourself?
The question is also, by doing this, you create this emotional home within yourself. When you do this more often, this emotional home feels comfortable to you because you get accustomed to it. You get used to this state and also to this feeling, to this emotional feeling. So there will be situations where this emotional home will give you validation when you don't do something. For example, I had this situation when I was standing at a checkout and I had a beautiful girl in front of me. My self-talk started talking to me and was like, no, you don't even need to talk to her, blah, blah, blah. And it started like this. And then she left and I didn't talk to her because I listened to my self-talk without even noticing. But now I know that this self-talk was going on. And I got the validation. See, it wasn't even worth it. So you don't even need to talk because it doesn't make sense. You don't have time and all this. I mean, you can come up with every excuse on the planet not to do something.
Yeah, no. And it leads to really bad self-esteem, low self-esteem, not very much confidence, not speaking up for yourself, not standing up for yourself, not feeling worthy, deserving, centered.
This also leads to never being your true self, never being able to stand into your own power, because your true self in these moments where you have this negative self-talk going on is not present. It cannot exist at that moment. And this is very crucial because you can make the best decisions when your true self is present. And guess what? You make the worst decisions when it's not there. So when you give yourself this negative self-talk and you make decisions that are important, for example, in your relationship, in your business, or even in your life, you will make worse decisions and you could make better decisions in a better state. So you simply have to change your state.
And that frightens me because at this moment in time, we've got the American elections going on.
Oh, well.
And I'm not quite sure of the self-talk of the two recipients that are battling over the White House seat. And in the UK, it's exactly the same. You look at the people and even when they're sitting in Parliament and they're nodding and agreeing with what's being said across the bar there. But what is the self-talk going on? What are they actually feeling and thinking? And half the time we operate from this best thinking, or what we think is this best thinking.
Exactly, Jill. The self-talk is always a kind of a mixture of half-truth, a poor logic, because we just fix things together and put things together that doesn't make sense if you really think about it. And it's a distorted picture of reality.
Yeah, which is scary because we live by this on a daily basis.
We do, yeah.
We operate from this on a daily basis. That's where the self-awareness has to come in. That's the awareness, suddenly sitting down and actually being really, really quiet. And then that little voice will start. Why are you sitting down? We've got so much to do. What? You can't afford to buy that. You know we've got this to pay for. No, you shouldn't be talking to them because your best friend wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
All these things come flooding into your head and you think to yourself, oh, not again. And another thing, Frank, is how much life-forcing energy does this take?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It really drains you dramatically. You don't have any power left. I mean, literally, it drains you the minute it starts.
So you think to yourself sometimes, and guys, you might be thinking to yourself, well, hang on a minute. I'm going to go out tomorrow and I'm going to be wondering, this person who's talking to me, are you really this person? Go out and ask your friends, what is your self-talk like?
Yeah.
And wait for their answers.
Yeah.
Because I bet you there's a lot of people saying, I want to go for that new job, but I'm not good enough. I haven't got the qualification. I would never fit in. Or maybe, I don't know if, I'd love all that money, but I don't know if I could go for that money. This is what we mean by self-talk. This is that maybe you want to lose weight, but obviously maybe the voice of reason comes up and says, no more chocolate cake. But then this other little voice says, but you love chocolate cake, so eat it.
Yeah, and also the self-talk that is going on is so confusing. I mean, if you really step back and just watch your self-talk talking to each other, like sometimes there's even more than two monkeys. Like you have so many contradicting opinions and decisions going on or suggestions going on that it would drive you crazy. And this is what I discovered in my life. I was thinking, for example, when I was producing music, I was thinking, no, I can stop doing this because it doesn't make sense. Nobody wants to listen to this. And all this negative self-talk.
You took me back then a little bit because when the very first time I did a television appearance for my tarot, all these producers were around me and all these people that knew what they're doing, and they thought I would know what I'm doing. And then when the actual thing went live, nothing came out of my mouth. And the show was live.
Wow.
I heard the producer count me down. And I heard him tell me which camera to keep looking in. And when the cameras changed, he told me where to look, what was going on, what I should be doing. And for a while, I couldn't operate because I thought to myself, I'm so out of my comfort zone. What am I doing sat in this chair? I want to run. I want to run away.
Yeah. It shuts you down. Yeah, totally. This is what I had on Friday, actually, because my self-talk was driving me into an emotional home where I don't want to live in because it shuts down my creativity, it shuts down my communication, it shuts down my strength, all my strength. And you simply realize that you're helpless at that moment because you're listening to somebody who doesn't have the best interest at heart.
And where did that take you, Frank? Where did it take you in your body? And when you were actually thinking these things, what were you feeling? What were the feelings coming up?
I get the shivers now when you ask me that question. It takes me to fear. It takes me to failure. It takes me to all the places where I don't want to be.
And in your body, where did you feel it?
In my solar plexus, right there. It was very tense. I felt like a big ball that was just hanging there, blocking everything. All the energy was blocked. There was no flow, nothing. There was just emptiness, actually. This is how my mind felt. I felt blank, like not even there.
But you have to share with us why that actually happened.
Yeah, I have to share this because I think it's very important. This happened for two reasons. The first reason is that if you don't take care of your body and fuel it with good food, vibrant, vital food, you can't operate at the highest level. And I haven't had breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I was so empty, my tank was like absolutely blank. And this was just a mirror of myself then. So I couldn't operate from that point. The other thing was sometimes you're doing something and people start noticing what you're doing. And then you get credit for this. And this puts you under really weird pressure. So you have to perform from then on. And that gives you this pressure on yourself that, oh my God, there's nothing different, right? The same conditions, everything is the same. You just have this pressure made by yourself that somebody is watching now, which was already the case, but you didn't know about it. But now you know about it. it changes the game for you, which is ridiculous because you just be yourself. And this is what we talk about. We talk about stepping into your power here. And I share this because I know that people find themselves in these situations when they put pressure on themselves, and it's a self-made pressure that comes from a knowledge they gained about something that was already there.
It's very interesting, but it's very powerful that you should share that, because you and I made a promise that we'd be authentic, we'd be honest, and we'd talk about things that we come across. And the biggest dream that we've got is to carry this mission across the world.
Yes, this is our vision.
And realizing...
Spreading the love.
Realizing, that's right. And realizing that exactly is what's happening. And now we're getting accreditation across the world. It's our mission and our dream to fulfill, but it became a scary place to be for a moment.
It became a scary place because I let it in, yes. But I mean, we just have to carry on what we're doing, speaking from the heart, operating from the heart, and we can never disappoint from that point of view. It's impossible.
And also the big lesson also is when you have a big dream, you've got to make sure that you feed your big heart. Because if that runs on empty, because you are so into doing what you do daily, Frank, I sit and watch you sometimes go beyond the extra mile. I know what's coming. I can see you getting tired.
Yeah. You think you are a machine and you are in hustle mode. And I really acknowledge myself for being in that mode. But it's absolutely vital and essential to fuel yourself, give yourself enough sleep, and give yourself that vital food, because this also contributes to your self-talk.
We don't. Now, that's another thing. The connection between heart, mind, body, and soul. Yeah. This is a machine that runs when every single one of those aspects runs well, the whole machine runs well. Yeah. It's like we go to a doc, where's the pain? The pain is investigated, but the pain probably is a psychological effect of our feelings and our thoughts and our beliefs. And that can really have a detrimental part on our self-talk. We can talk ourselves into an illness.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And that's quite scary as well. But I'd like to read out something that I've found actually on the internet. It's really powerful. So here we go. Our negative self-talk is pernicious and demoralizing and debilitating. And because we are so used to it, we don't consciously pay attention to it and therefore don't challenge it. It goes on and on in the background, and the effect is that we are giving ourselves powerful, hypnotic suggestions to feel bad.
I really love what you just shared, Jill, because if you don't challenge these negative self-talking comments you give yourself, all this stuff you put yourself into gets cellular. And it then can create habit patterns that you escape to when you feel, for example, not emotionally strong. Or
yes, it takes you to disempowerment.
It takes you to disempowerment. And especially in cases where you are disempowered, when, for example, when a strategy hits or something. That's when this trigger is activated.
So tonight we've gone into great depth about being self-aware about the chatter that goes on, the inner dialogue. And in the next episode, we're going to talk about some of the aspects that we go into. And those are really, really in-depth, and we can discuss those in fullness next week when we come back and join you. But we want to leave you with some thought. And that is also, as we said before, go and ask your friends. What are the things you say to yourself when you want to make some changes? What are the beliefs that come up? What is the self-talk that comes up for you? And think about this for yourself as well. So for me, I'm going to say happy self-talk as much as you possibly can. And I want to wish you love, peace, blessings, protection wherever you are in the world. Most grateful, beyond grateful for your being here, your subscribing for us, and your commenting and liking of what we bring to you on a weekly basis. And this is from the heart, speaking from the heart. So take great care, guys, and love, peace, and blessings. Jill signing out. See you all next week.
I can only second that, Jill, but I want to thank you for taking me back to my true self on Friday, because you said to me, I don't even talk to you when I have this self-talk. I don't even want to speak to that. So you just ignored it and helped me to realize what was going on. And I'm beyond grateful for this. So I definitely want to say thank you for being in my life, guiding me here.
That's not a problem, Frank, because I love you very, very much for all you do, all you bring, and how you're helping the world to be a better place by facing these things that can seem so huge and obstacles that we come across. But I think when they're voiced and they're given the table for a little while and they're faced, and it's the likes of you and I that are going to make these changes to help our wonderful people out there to live a better life. Yeah.
By being vulnerable, by speaking from the heart, by operating from the heart, and by sharing from the heart. I want to include that as well now. And I want to invite everybody to ask, how do you talk to yourself? Because the way you talk to yourself has an exponential impact on your life. And guys, if you take yourself to places like fear or angst, it only makes you perform with the ceiling on any level. And what we are looking for is we are looking for greatness. We are looking for transformational progress and transformational impact. So I want to invite you to really take a look at yourself and ask yourself, how do you see yourself? With that said, I also want to say thank you for listening, and we are sending out love, gratitude, and so much light to each and every one of you. And as we always say, spread the love, because the world needs that more than anything. So this is Frank and Jill signing out from where your safe zone for discovering your true self is created. See you next week, guys. We can't wait to welcome you back.